Chapter 10. I walked down the hall in a haze. Daly had taken the car and started off a long walk home in a stupor. Johnny was dead, but he wasn't. The still body back in the hospital wasn't Johnny. Johnny was somewhere else, maybe asleep in a lot or playing the pinball machine in the bowling alley or sitting on the back steps of the church in Windricksville. I'd go home and walk by a lot, and Johnny would be sitting on a curb smoking a cigarette, or maybe we'd lie on our backs and watch the stars. He isn't dead, I said to myself. He isn't dead. This is my, and this time my dreaming worked. I convinced myself that he wasn't dead. I must have wandered around for hours, sometimes even out into the street, getting honked at and cussed out. I might have stumbled out all night, except for a man who asked if I wanted a ride. Huh? Oh, yeah, I guess. I said. I got in. The man, who was in his mid-20s, looked at me. You all right, kid? You look like you've been in a fight. I have been. A rumble. I'm okay. Johnny's not dead, I told myself. I and I believed it. Hate to tell you this, kiddo, the guy said dryly, but you're bleeding all over my car seat. I blinked. I am? Your head. I reached up to scratch the side of my head where I had been itching for a while and looked at my hand, and it was smeared with blood. Gosh, mister, I'm sorry, I said, dumbfounded. Don't worry about it. This wreck's been through worse. What's your address? I'm not going to dump a hurt kid out in the streets at this time of night, I told him. He drove me to the house, and I got out. Thanks a lot. What was left of our gang was in our living room. Steve was stretched out on the sofa, his shirt unbuttoned and his side bandaged. His eyes were closed, but when the door shut behind me, he opened them, and I suddenly wondered if my own eyes looked as feverishly and bewildered as his. Soda had a wide cut on his lip and a bruise across his cheek. There was a band-aid over Darius' forehead, and he had a black eye. One side of Tubit's face was taped up. I found out later he had 4 stitches in his cheek and 7 in his hand where he had busted his knuckles open over Asosha's head. They were lounging around, reading the paper and smoking. Where's the party? I thought dully. Weren't Soda and Steve planning a party after the rumble? They all looked up when I walked in. Derry leapt to his feet. Where you been? Oh, let's not start this. Oh, let's don't start this again. I thought. I stepped. He stopped suddenly. Pony boy, what's the matter? I looked at all of them, a little frightened. Johnny, he's dead. My voice sounded strange even to me, but he's not dead, a voice in my head said. We told him about beating the Socs, and I don't know, he just died. He told me to stay golden. I remembered. What was he talking about? There was a stricken silence. I don't think any of us had realized how bad off Johnny really had been. Soda made a funny noise, and it looked like he was going to start crying. Two-Bit's eyes were closed, and his teeth were clenched. And I remembered Daly. Daly pounded on the wall. Dallas is gone, I said. He ran out like the devil and was after him. He's going to blow up. He couldn't take it. How can I take it? I wondered. Daly is tougher than I am. Why can I take it and Daly can't? And then I knew. Johnny was the only thing that Daly loved. And now Johnny was gone. So he finally broke. Two-Bit spoke everybody's feelings. So even Daly has a breaking point. I started shaking. Darius said something in a low voice to Soda. Pony boy, Soda said softly, like he was gonna talking to an injured animal. You look sick. Sit down. I backed up, just like the frightened animal, shaking my head. I'm okay. I felt sick. I felt as if any minute I was going to fall flat on my face, but I shook my head. I didn't want to sit down. Derry took a step toward me, but I backed away. Don't touch me, I said. My heart was pounding in slow thumps, throbbing on the side of my face, on the side of my head, and I wondered if everyone else could hear it. Maybe that's why they were all looking at me. I thought as though I could hear my heart beating. The phone rang, and after a moment's hesitation, Derry turned from me to it. He said hello and then listened. He hung up quickly. It's Daly. He phoned from a booth. He's just robbed a grocery store and the cops are after him. We gotta hide him. He'll be in a lot in a minute. We all left the house in a dead run, even Steve, and I wondered vaguely why no one was doing somersaults off the steps this time. Things were sliding in and out of focus, and it seemed funny to me that I could run in a straight line. We reached the vacant lot just as Daly came in, running as hard as he could from the opposite direction. The wail of sirens grew louder. The police car pulled up across the street from the lot. Doors slammed. The policeman leapt out. Daly had reached the circle of light under the streetlight and skidded to a halt. He turned and jerked a black object from his waistband. I remembered his voice. I've been carrying a heater. It ain't loaded, but it sure does help in a bluff. That was only yesterday that Daly had told Johnny and me that, but yesterday was years ago, a lifetime ago. Daly raised a gun, and I thought, you blasted fool, they don't know you're only bluffing. And even as the policeman's gun spit fire into the night, I knew it was what Daly wanted. He was jerked half around by the impact of the bullets, then slowly crumpled with a look of grim triumph on his face. He was dead before he hit the ground, but I knew it was what he wanted. Even as the lot echoed with the cracks of shots, even as I begged silently, please, not him, not him, not Johnny, not him and Johnny both. I knew he would be dead because Daly Winston wanted to be dead, and he always got what he wanted. Nobody would write editorials praising Daly. Two friends of mine had died that night, one a hero, the other one a hoodlum. But I remember Daly pulling Johnny through the window of that burning church, Daly giving up us his gun, although it could mean jail for him, Daly risking his life for us, trying to keep Johnny out of trouble. And now he was a dead juvenile delinquent, and there just weren't any editorials in his favor. Daly didn't die a hero. He died violently, the young and desperate. Just like we all knew he'd die someday, just like Tim Shepard and Curly Shepard and the Brumley boys and the other guys we knew would die someday, but Johnny was right. He died gallant. Steve stumbled forward with a sob. Soda caught him by the shoulders. Easy, buddy, easy, I heard him say softly. There's nothing we can do now. Nothing we can do. Not for Daly. Not for Johnny, not Tim Shepard, not any of us. My stomach gave a violent start and turned into a hunk of ice. The world was spinning around me, and blobs of faces and visions past were dancing in the red mist that covered the lot. I swirled into a mass of colors, and I felt myself swaying to my feet. Somebody cried, Glory, look at the kid, as the ground rushed up to meet me very suddenly. When I woke up, it was light. It was awfully quiet, too quiet. I mean, our house isn't normally quiet. The radio is usually going full blast, the TV turned up too loud, and the people are wrestling and knocking over lamps and tripping over coffee tables and yelling at each other. Something was wrong, but I couldn't quite figure it out. Something had happened. I couldn't remember what. I blinked at Soda bewilderedly. He was sitting on the edge of the bed watching me. Soda, my voice sounded weak and hoarse. Is somebody sick? Yeah, his voice oddly gentle. Go back to sleep now. An idea was slowly drawing on me. Am I sick? He stroked my hair. Yeah, you're sick. Now be quiet. I had one more question. I was still kind of mixed up. Is Derry sorry I'm sick? I had a funny feeling that Derry was sad because I was sick. Everything seemed vague and hazy. Soda gave me a funny look. He was quiet for a moment. Yeah, he's sorry you're sick. Now please shut up, will you, honey? Go back to sleep. I closed my eyes. I was awful tired. When I woke up next, it was daylight and I was hot under all the blankets on me. I was thirsty and hungry, but my stomach was so uneasy. I knew I wouldn't be able to hold down anything. Derry had pulled an armchair into the bedroom and was asleep in it. He sh- he should be at work, I thought. Why is he in the armchair? Hey, Derry, I said softly, shaking his knee. Hey, Derry, wake up. He opened his eyes. Pony boy, you okay? Yeah, I said. I think so. Something had happened, but I still couldn't remember it, although I was thinking a lot clearer than I did the last time I'd wake up. He sighed in relief and pushed my hair back. Gosh, kid, you had us scared to death. What was the matter with me? He shook his head. I told you you were in no condition for a rumble, exhaustion, shock, minor concussion, and Tubik came blubbering all over here some tale about you be running a fever before the rumble and how you was it was all his fault you were sick and pretty torn up that night, Derry said. He was quiet for a minute. We all were. And then I remembered. Dallas and Johnny were dead. Don't think of them, I thought. Don't remember how Johnny was your buddy and don't remember that he didn't want to die. Don't think Daly breaking up in the hospital, crumbling under the streetlight. Don't try to think that Johnny is better off now. Try to remember that Daly would have been ended up like that sooner or later. Best of all, don't think. Blank your mind. Don't remember. Don't remember. Where'd I get a concussion? I said. My head itched, but I couldn't scratch it for the bandage. How long have I been asleep? You got a concussion from being kicked in the head. Soda saw it. He landed all over that Soch. I've never seen him so mad. I think he could have whipped anyone in that state he was in. Today's Tuesday. You've been asleep and delirious since Saturday night. Don't you remember? No, I said slowly. Derry, I might even be able to make it to school I've missed. And I've still got to go to court and talk to the police about Bob's getting killed. And now with Daly, I took a deep breath. Derry, do they think they'll split us up, put me in a home or something? He was silent. I don't know, baby. I just don't know. I stared at the ceiling. What would it be like? I wondered, staring at the different ceiling. What would it be like to be in a different bed in a different room? It was hard, painful lump in my throat, and I couldn't swallow. Don't you even remember being in the hospital? Derry asked. He was trying to change the subject. I shook my head. I don't remember. You kept asking me for soda. Sometimes mom and dad, too, but mostly for soda. Something in his tone of voice made me look at him. Mostly for soda. Did I ask for dairy at all? Or was he just saying that? Dairy? I don't quite know what to say. I didn't quite know what to say, but I had the sick feeling that maybe I hadn't called for him when I was delirious. Maybe I only wanted soda pop to be with me. What all had I s- what all had I said when I was sick? I couldn't remember. I don't want to remember. Johnny left you a copy of Gone with the Wind, told the nurse he wanted you to have it. I looked at the paperback lying on the table. I didn't want to finish it. I never got past the part where the Southern gentlemen go riding into sure death because they are gallant. Southern gentlemen with big black eyes and blue jeans and t-shirts. Southern gentlemen crumpling under the streetlights. Don't remember. Don't try to decide which one died gallant. Don't remember. Where's Soda? I asked. And then I could have kicked myself. Why can't you talk to Derry, you idiot? Said to myself. Why do you feel uncomfortable talking to Derry? Asleep, I hope. I thought he was gonna go to sleep, shaving this morning and cut his throat. I had to push him to bed, but he was out like a light in a second. Darius' hopes that Soda was asleep were immediately ruined because he came running in, clad only in a pair of blue jeans. Hey, pony boy, he yelled and leapt for me, but Derry caught him. No rough stuff, little buddy. So Soda and I contented himself with bouncing up and down on the bed and pounding on my shoulder. Gosh, but you were sick. You feel okay now? I'm okay. I'm just a little hungry. You should I should think you should be, Darius said. You wouldn't eat most anything most of the time you were sick. How'd you like some mushroom soup? I suddenly realized just how empty I was. Man, I like that just fine. I'm gonna make some. Soda Pop, take it easy with him, okay? Soda looked back at him indignantly. You think I was going to challenge him in track meet or something right off the bat? Oh no, I groaned. Track meet? I guess it's just about put me out of every race. I won't be back in any condition for any meets. The coach was counting on me. Golly, there's always next year, Soda said. Soda never just grasped the importance Derry and I put on athletics. like he never has understood why we went all out for studying. Don't sweat it, just about some track meet. Soda, I said suddenly. What all did I say while I was delirious? Oh, you thought you were in a Winter's most of the time. Then you kept saying that Johnny didn't mean to kill the Soch. Hey, I didn't know what you didn't like bologna. I went cold. I didn't like it. I never liked it. I don't never liked it. Soda just looked at me. You used to eat it. That's why you would eat anything while you were sick. You kept saying you didn't like bologna, no matter what was trying to get you to eat. I don't like it, I repeated. Soda, did I ask for dairy when I was sick? Yeah, sure, he said, looking at me strangely. You asked for him and me both, sometimes mom and dad, and for Johnny. Oh, I thought maybe I didn't ask for dairy. It was bugging me. Soda grinned. Well, you did, so don't worry. We stayed with you so much that the doctors told us we were going to end up in the hospital ourselves if we didn't get some sleep. So we didn't get any, but we didn't get any. I took a good look at him. He looked completely worn out, and the circles under his eyes had a tense, tired look on it. Yet his dark eyes were still laughing and carefree and reckless. You look beat, I said frankly. I bet you ain't had 3 hours of sleep since Saturday night. He grinned. I didn't deny it. Scoot over, he crawled over me and flopped down, and before Derry came back with the soup, we were both asleep.